Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sarbajeet Mukherjee. I am representing Cholamandalam MS Risk Services. We are pioneers and leaders in the field of HSSR. You will ask, what is HSSR? It's a health, safety, sustainability and risk. These are the solutions which we provide to our customers, and I will tell you more about it. So I have deviated a little bit on the topic, Dr. Yoshi. So I am going to cover the PSM implementation. In today's topic, I am going to talk about first briefly about Chola MS Risk Services, what this company is all about, what we are doing. And then I will talk about process safety management system and introduction and the implementation of process safety management system. The approach which Chola Risk is taking. Just to give an introduction, what is Chola MS Risk Services? Everybody knows about Murugappa Group. It is more than 123-year-old group, diversified into various businesses. It's Chola MS Risk Services is part of Murugappa Group, and in collaboration with our joint venture partner, which is Mitsui Sumitomo of Japan and InterRisk, we are providing these services from last 28 years in India. So we are having 28 years of experience in India and executed more than 10,000 HSSR projects. We are covering about more than 42 industrial sectors worldwide. So this slide is talking about our vision and our core values, which is definitely more customer centric, and our vision is to be an innovative risk management and engineering solution provider across the globe while offering customers our world-class services. So this slide is talking about numbers. We are more than 300, in fact we are more than 350 people now, as of now. All of our people are engineers or researchers. We have ISO 45000 certified auditors, we have process safety engineers, we have electrical and fire safety engineers who are having on-the-site experience and are qualified to do this job. As I was mentioning earlier, we are having partners as Mitsui Sumitomo, which is a Japanese company, and in technical collaboration with InterRisk, we are having risk management services in India. We are also part of an Innogen Alliance. Innogen Alliance is an alliance of about 74 consulting companies across the globe. So how it helps us is, or the group alliance is, that any solution which somebody is seeking, a client may be sitting in West Africa and seeking a solution in South India, will be able to connect with Innogen, and then Innogen can pass on that to the right service provider, which is us in India, and we can execute that project. Likewise, if a project is say in Europe, and part of the Innogen group, they contact us, we can guide them to participate, and then a right company or right consultant will approach them from that particular country, so that it is becoming a local services for that particular company. So this association gives us all these solving the global HSE needs and resolving liabilities from the past. So and we are definitely addressing today's requirements of due diligence, corporate due diligence, compliance and knowledge services. This now is the service portfolio of Chola MS Risk Services. What we are doing. So we are basically started our services 28 years ago with process safety first. So we are leaders in process safety. Environmental and sustainability services we are providing. Construction safety is also a big domain which we are catering. In fact, I can proudly say that in construction safety, we are number one company in India. Logistics and road safety is also something which is very unique. These certain challenges, people do not realize that what these challenges are. But that is for some other day, or you contact us in our stall, I will tell you more about it. Electrical safety, as the name suggests, is also covering a lot of risk, and which we are trying to mitigate with the help of our experienced people and partners. Digital EHS, everything, the world is moving towards digital. Our clients as well as their clients would like to have a digital solution for everything that covers having on-site monitoring, remote monitoring, as well as various other solutions like give an MIS which is up to date and on demand. Deployment services we do when the client requires an expert's services to be deployed at their site, we do provide that. Industrial hygiene is another unique service which we are providing, where the site itself is being looked at in terms of various pollutants, including noise, including air pollution and various other chemical pollutions. And we do have a safety academy where we believe that we teach our people, the new people who are joining us. We also teach the same with the help of this safety academy. We are able to teach and impart training to our clients as well. So I'll talk a little bit about process safety in this next slide. And what I will do is, I'll try and cover each of our services with one slide. And by end of that, I'll be covering the introduction of Chola MS Risk Services, and then I will come to the specific topic of today. So this slide is very heavy, very busy slide, but just to summarize, if you can just go through this, what is process safety, what do? We are doing various design studies, audits and assurance, cultural transformation projects, as well as HAZOP, QRA, and functional safety studies. These studies, if you are from chemical industry or if you are an end user, you will know these studies are quite relevant to the chemical organization, as well as to refineries, to petrochemicals, to pharma industries, any process industry. These services of process safety is very, very paramount and important. Environment management and sustainability service, what we do in these services is marine environment services we are providing. We are providing food risk assessment, flood risk assessment, ecological and biodiversity model, fugitive emission and odor management. These details, if you would like to have these details, you can come to our stall at J21 and we'll be able to help you. And water treatment consulting, water pinch studies. Some previous speaker was talking about water is being treated and how it is being reused. We also provide a unique service called AWS, which is water steward. We are not realizing that suppose this is a plot size, and towards the end of this plot we are having a bore well where we are drawing the water from, but actually beneath the ground the water is coming from various sources. It may be coming from 10 plots away and there is a stream and which is coming, you are drawing from there. So the AWS service, what it does is, the total impact of that water which you are drawing, it is a long study. Sometimes it takes 1.5 to 2 years of study, where the water is the impact of the water which you are drawing and again discharging back to earth is being studied, and then the mitigation solutions are being provided. Suppose you install a factory, and that factory you have designed it that it will last for 50 years. What is that good use of that good factory if after 5 years the water is out and there is no way the water supply is there in that particular location? So this Water Stewardship Council is something which studies that and can give our clients the right information by which they can plan in a different way. Also the existing plants, what they are damaging to the groundwater, that also is part of that study. Of course, the social impact assessment and CSR schemes are also a big thing nowadays. Lot of people, lot of companies are mandatorily by law 2% of their profit they are putting in these social causes. But have they realized that how effective is their cause, sir? Is you are giving a service to a community, maybe to a village, opening a school or running a hospital or a primary health center, but your money, is it getting the amount of attention it requires, or is it spent wisely? So that we help companies to transform their projects, and in fact you don't have to spend anything extra. It is within your 2% of the profits which you can definitely utilize in these services. Construction safety management, as the name suggests, during construction you face a lot of challenges, unskilled manpower, semi-skilled manpower with skilled manpower. You have during construction various activities, right from excavating the earth to working at heights and erecting scaffolds, and these various touch points offer a lot of challenges to the construction manager or people at site. It is very likely that some incidents or accidents will happen, and it does happen. We have figures to suggest that construction industry employs more than 49% of the working population in the world, and out of that 49%, it's a very as high as 34% people who are vulnerable to get injured or have an accident. So this is something which we definitely promote. This also helps your brand. Suppose you have a zero accident free construction site, you will definitely gain once your site is accident free. Million man hours accident free, and we have executed various projects where we have supported our clients and giving those services to them. So what do we do here? We have construction safety management, we have expert manpower deployment, as I mentioned earlier, and training services. Certain training services are so unique that we are providing new age technology. We are providing VR based technologies to help our clients. So a VR headset is being worn and a customized solution. Suppose in this example, we have only one room, right? And we have what? About 50, 60 people in this room. Suppose something happens here, God forbid, nothing should happen, something happens here. What is the exit, what people will follow here? Where is the safest form of exit? How we will exit, and what you will do in case of a smoke or a fire or something. So those simulation exercises which we inbuilt in our control in our VR headset, we give them. And if you are aware, VR is something which you can actually do, and sometimes you need to, when you practice it, you really feel that you are going to fall down if there is a staircase in front of you. So it's so effective. So in that context, if you give that exercise to the person, then you have to look up to see the wind direction. The weather sock is there, you need to look it up, which side the wind is blowing, and accordingly you have to escape towards the opposite side of it. So how do you do that? You regularly train them. You cannot simulate it on the shop floor, but you can definitely take a picture of a 360-degree picture and then train it on VR. So training is the major aspect of it. Then once you train, and then only you can have. Another unique thing which we are giving is contractor safety management and evaluation. So contractor safety, why it's important? Because the site is being built, even in your chemical plants, in pharmaceutical plants, day in, day out, some construction activity is happening. You are either expanding the existing service or adding one more plant, one more service, one more warehouse, some pipeline here, some pipeline there, continuous some form of construction activity is happening. So you are deploying various contractors. So some contractor come with 100 people, some 50 people, trained, untrained, semi-trained, we don't know, right? So we are having a contractor safety management evaluation as well as contractor incubation center. What we do is, in a small room, we make them realize the effectiveness of safety, and we train them. And not only we train them, it is a unique way of training them. We put gamification. You will ask me, what is gamification? Gamification is nothing that in a safety environment, we create a game. And we ask the people to play that game. And while playing that game, people will learn about safety. And that is what we are providing. It's easy to learn when you are actually doing it while learning. Logistics and road safety is another of our service which we are providing, which is also kind of very unique. People do not realize. One of our clients, I will not name them, but they are the largest FMCG player in the country. So you know whom they are. You are using their soaps, their detergent, their toothpaste every day. So have you ever imagined what is the bulk of, the transportation requirement for these companies, these big FMCG companies? That client which I am talking about have 3,000 trucks movement per day. And we are talking about 12-ton trucks moving, and I am talking about only one plant. And they have about 68 plants in India for different products. So can you imagine the amount of truck movement, amount of trucks, drivers, and their behavioral safety? How do they actually drive the truck? What is the inspection level they are performing on their vehicle? Is it fit for that particular journey? So what we do is, we first of all, if it's a fixed journey, we map the entire journey, we videograph the entire journey, and we play it out. And we simulate and tell the driver, okay, in this situation, if there is a ghat, what you will do, how you will behave. So we teach them and then score them, and we also use a lot of technology. We put some blinkers, and some cameras in the truck, where suppose a driver is falling asleep, it will give alarm. And not just this technology, it is also covering the entire path. So if the driver is rash driving, that means is putting the accelerator too often, or using the brakes too often, that means he is a rash driver. So that also needs to be captured. And another interesting thing before I move on, I'll tell about road safety is, this particular behavioral service which we have devised, how it works. If you punish, the driver is not interested, next day will not come. How you do it, how you motivate. So both carrot and stick theory, sir. But we have, you put a small video clip of that driver and send it to his family. So when somebody's wife or children will say, what are you doing, how you are driving a truck, that is the best way for him to learn. So he learns this through that. So we go into deep aspect of it. Electrical safety is another subject which is a very old subject, but very essential. We do a lot of audits, assurance and compliance services, assessment and verification services, design consulting and advisory services. Electrical safety is something where if you get us or somebody like us involved from the beginning at the design phase itself, you save a lot of money and you will save a lot of time during the entire project. Digital based electrical engineering, we also use a lot of this thing, and also expert deployment whenever required. In particular, we are using beside the regular services of arc flash studies, thermography, which we are also conducting at site. As I was talking about safety academy, where we teach our own people as well as our clients people. We have various training modules on various aspects of safety. So basically we are a safety company. So whatever we do, we are talking about only safety. Industrial hygiene, where I was talking about that, we do industrial hygiene assessment at workplace, and we also conduct a lot of programs, and engineering control and its validation while it's working or not working, and also industrial hygiene training which we provide. Digital EHS solution that covers your VR headset as well as audit management software, also use of drones to inspect your facilities and to give real-time data and MIS for people to actually utilize the digital EHS solution, where it's always on-demand kind of service which we are providing. So various softwares as well as tools which we use, permanent hardware and software, which some of the tools you may be familiar with, some of them may be new to you, but these are various tools, and this is not the end of it. This slide, we are having various other tools also which we use while promoting. Another one is Den Expert, which we are having as a partnership for a digital compliance tool, which we use. This is a Danish company. And we use this Den Expert as a tool to provide environment safety So as I was talking about 42 different industries, so we are catering to almost all of the industries in India. In a nutshell, when we say that from the concept, design, detailed engineering to operations to, pre-commissioning and construction, and I would like to add one more bucket to decommissioning. We can get involved in all the phases of the project. It's better if we can just utilize that with the concept stage itself. Various list of clients, just to give a glimpse of various clients in India and also some of them abroad. So I will come to my topic now in subsequent slides. So what is process safety management? So this is something which is my subject topic today. So process safety management is the proactive identification, evaluation, mitigation or prevention of chemical releases that could occur in a result of failures in process, procedures and equipment. So this is a broad definition of process safety management, and PSM is a disciplined framework for managing the entire integrity and operating system of the plant and processes that handle the hazardous materials. So sometimes people get confused between process safety and personal safety. Both are intermingled, and there are certain differences. Definitely process safety focuses on preventing fires, explosions, toxic release and other process related exigencies, while and also the preventing of high consequence and low frequency risk. Process safety is preventing loss or containment. Occupational safety, which is personal, sometimes also referred to as personal safety, concerned with protecting the safety, health and welfare of the people, right? And focuses more on work injury prevention, occupational health and driving safety, etc. Prevention of low consequence and high frequency risk. And occupational safety is preventing hazards affecting people in acute and chronic. So what are the standards which are used for for process safety management? So OSHA 1910.119 is the process safety management of hazardous chemicals, is the international standard for regulatory requirement. Or CCPS, these are the 20 elements of CCPS which are broadly based in element based risk based safety, RBPS. So there are 14 elements of PSM. Companies will be at different stages in some of these elements. So what we do is a gap analysis. These all 14 elements are part of the PSM. So some company will be at various different stages of suppose process safety information. Some companies will have a lot of information and right information. Maybe they will score a better deal in the element number 1. But maybe just giving an example, process safety hazard analysis, they will score a low score in that. Likewise, these are the 14 different elements used in process safety management, while CCPS talks about 20. For 20 elements, so both are similar. CCPS approach is kind of little different. The first 5 columns are the commitment to safety. And the next 2 are understanding hazard and risk. And then the blue ones are talking about the managing risk, right? So and the last 4 ones are learned from experience. So these are the various 20 CCPS approach on risk-based performance standards. And this slide is going to talk about PSM evolution in India. What is the Indian context to it? So some companies have adopted early in this scenario, and they have gained a lot in terms of PSM implementation. As you know, it's not a mandatory by law to have PSM, so safety management system is not mandated, and chemical industries are voluntarily doing it. These are voluntary services. When if you are a good brand or want to build a safer name for yourself, you go for PSM, and most of the companies are going for PSM. And it is future driven. The process safety management is increasingly being woven into business strategy. So you are actually saving money reducing your downtime and increasing your efficiency. Thereby, it is imperative for people to inculcate in the business strategy itself. Some limitations and challenges of India's industry, there are a lot of aging assets. The plant is 15, 20, 25-year old, or low or no nil return on investment in safety. People think that this is a nil return. Installations located in thickly populated areas where it's very difficult for companies to expand and do a lot of changes. Non-adherence of SOPs, these are again cultural things. Top-down safety culture, shortage of skilled manpower and lack of proper maintenance, training and retraining of manpower to assimilate upcoming technology. So these are the various challenges which people are facing. Implementing process safety management system. So this is to evaluate the status of existing occupational health and safety management system elements of OSHA PSM standard 1910.119 and CCBS RBPS elements, which I mentioned earlier. Establish an action plan for implementation of process safety management. Implement the process safety management system through hand-holding. This is how we do our service. So what I was mentioning earlier, phase 1 is gap analysis, and then gap analysis is what we do a dipstick survey. We do a gap analysis study and find out of the 14 and 20 elements where that particular company is standing right now. What is the score? Establish an action plan depending on the PSM score. And phase 2 will be scoped down, and after the completion of gap analysis, which is implementation of process safety management system. We learn from what we are going to do. So gap analysis is so important. People would like to go and jump to the PSM implementation, which is not the right approach. You should do a gap analysis first. Where do you stand? Out of the 20 elements of CCPS or 14 elements of OSHA, where do you stand? Some of the elements you need not do anything. You may be already doing good things on that. So as this is just a graphical representation of the same thing. After the gap analysis, develop roadmap and define the PSM framework and develop PSM technical standards. Identify core team and team champions, and conduct a PSM workshop at various levels, and then roll out the PSM program. Define the KPIs, element-wise implementation through training and hand-holding, and then promote awareness throughout the your organization through newsletters and various other means, and measurement of and monitoring of the progress. Continuous measurement and monitoring will be required. So this again PSM gap analysis scope. These will be our scope. Again, commitment of to process safety, the first two one, and understanding hazards and risks, the next two ones, and then manage risk and learn from experience. So the methodology which I already mentioned, part of it is study the existing PSM system, develop a framework, past incidents if any need to be learned from that, and performance of existing PSM or safety management system, anything you have. So on-site review, and then we conduct and form a team, and then accordingly handhold the entire project. What will be our deliverables if we do a PSM gap analysis? So the report will contain the observation and recommendation of the presented to each PSM elements, and again a separate chapter will provide PSM compliance scores. As I was mentioning earlier, we can have definitely different scores for different elements, and based on that we can have a poor or a no system, 0 points, to an excellent having 4 points. So these across elements will give different points against each element. Yeah, and then something like this will come out against which elements what you have scored, and then you can evaluate that. Then the phase 2 will be again implementation. Similar thing, how we are going to measure against each element, and again the journey, again how to develop, implement, and audit and evaluation, and in between all the various tasks will be done. This is very important. The governance team which will be part of your organization itself, where you will have a apex committee driven by top management of corporate level, That is very much, it has to be corporate and top-driven approach. Then at site, PSM committee will be formed, and that some committee will, under that will be implementation project, PSM implementation champions, and then PSM task force team who will be actually doing the project. To help you do that, we have to also offer you boot camps, where we are a leadership boot camp as well as middle management boot camp, where focused program for these particular groups will be given for them to understand what is the PSM journey is all about. So again, actions and responsibility, these are certain screenshots of what all things you will be looking at. Then again, the PSM manual and technical standard will be developed and defined, and awareness programs, task force training and PSM elements and competency building will be a continuous process. This will keep on going towards your thing, while Chola will keep on hand-holding and do a, if required, a PSM specialist will be deployed at your side who will handhold you and do the PSM deployment. So developing KPIs for various PSM elements will be one of the major things which we will be doing. And this is preliminary health hazard analysis, PHA. This is an example how the journey will go. Target is to achieve 100% tracking sheet, regular updates to ensure recommendations are from the PHA studies are closed. So once you do the PHA study, the scorecard will give you on the baseline stage after 5 months, after 10 months, after 14 months. So it's a journey of 18 months. Where have you reached out of that? So element implementation audits and evaluation and PSM compliance audit will be part of this PSM program, which we will be conducting. Just to summarize that, this entire journey starts with a gap analysis, and continuous training and implementation will be the way a PSM journey has to take place. It is not something which is a quick fix kind of a thing that, something is broken, you just fix it. No, it's a cultural transformation thing. Everybody needs to get involved in PSM implementation, and our experts are there to help you for that. What somebody, top management may ask, what all things we can gain out of each element. So it's just a list, what all things people can gain. Definitely the asset integrity and reliability of the plant, which is very important, is the major benefit which can be arrived from it. And systematically trained manpower, and people know what to do at certain situations. Proper reporting structure, there is nothing to hide, right? So the hiding culture is also gone away, and if there is a problem, needs to be highlighted and corrected. So just a sustained value of productivity increases, production cost goes down, maintenance cost saved, and capital budget is saved. Ultimately, reduce the insurance cost. If you can show your insurance provider that you have implemented PSM and you are monitoring it very effectively, ultimately your insurance premium will also come down, right? So there are savings all around, besides saving your brand name as well. Thank you, sir, for giving us this opportunity. Thank you so much for your time.